Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancé, or A Couple of Cuckoos, chapter 113. When we last left our heroes, Soichiro was weird. I'm not sure if that's from a translation thing, or just this man makes no sense, but I think... So what we learned is that he had initially, when Erika had that phone call with him back in 110, he wanted them to stop living together, despite the fact that his initial plan is for them, or his end goal is still for them to get married, I think. We learn on this ferry that he has a plan to, like, make Nagi study management for a while Erika studies abroad or something. But it seems like part of his issue is that he wants to dictate the pace of their relationship for whatever reason. I think the actual translation was dictate the pace of this story, which is still weird. Not much better, not gonna lie. So, like, I don't know, there were some weird translation things all over last week, and I don't know if, like, that contributed to the weirdness. But from what I worked out at the end, Nagi and Erika kind of reach a new beginning to their relationship where they acknowledge their mutual feelings for each other, and we'll just have to wait and see what comes from that. So with that said, let's dive right on in to the 113th foul. I knew that you would understand, Umino-kun, which is obviously a hero line, no one else calls him that. Our picture here is Ai with, like, a group of llamas or alpacas behind her, all wearing the same kind of, like, plaid hair ribbon. With the suspension lifted, school life begins again. The truth behind the rumor pertaining to Hiro. So yeah, it's a Hiro chapter. But also, that means that a couple weeks have passed since the M1. But we open with Erika calling, "Nagi-kun, I'm ready to go to school." And Nagi's just reading, maybe, like, catching up on the last 2 weeks of classes he's missed. Yeah, and as Nagi kind of follows her into the entrance, she calls, "I told you that we should go together, didn't I?" And that, like, jolts Nagi awake. Huh? It's fine, isn't it? After all, everything's out in the open since the M1 happened. Which, right, even though, like, no one believed their story, they still told their story, so people are, like, at least aware of the fiancé shit. Or actually, we don't know people... They didn't believe the switched at birth thing. Everything kind of blew up when Nagi said fiancés. You never really got a chance to, like, see how they reacted to that. But either way, Nagi just reacts, right. Which means, and he has, like, war flashbacks to the Yukun shit. Fiancé? What's the meaning of this? Umino again? The Yukun nightmare returns? And he's, like, panicking now. Why is this happening to my school life? And Erika sort of looks at him, and then Nagi sort of comes to himself and turns to Erika. Actually, Amino-san, is this really okay? And Erika just tells him, I mean, they really pity you at school, you know. And he gets there, and, like, there's, like, a group of guys around him just, like, praying, like, literally, like, two of them are praying, one is, like, covering his face, the other's, like, holding his shoulder. Why? The guys tell him, it's a real shame, Umino. You put your life on the line to prep for this joke, to the point of being swallowed by suspension, only to be disqualified from the M1. I thought suspensions were just an urban legend, at our school especially. You did good, my guy. You're really something else, Mr. Salutatorian. So yeah, they just don't believe they don't believe any single thing that happened at the M1. And Nagi's just, they really pity me. And Erika comes up to him, hey, Nagi-kun. So they didn't believe us on the day of anyway, right? And since this could end up being more than a handful, we should just play along and pretend that the whole thing about being switched at birth and engaged was just a joke. And also that the stalker guy was a plant. Okay, that's a bit of a walk back, Erika. Because, you know, I guess, you know, even though the whole point of last chapter was sort of acknowledging her feelings for Nagi, and, like, or the two of them acknowledging their feelings for each other on a mutual playing field, that doesn't necessarily mean that Erika's ready for, like, people who don't know her that well to be that into her personal life, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But Nagi's just right. You know, it feels like fairly frequently, though, in this past arc, we've had these sorts of seeming, you know, beats that feel like they're going to be a step back, a reversal of, like, prior twists, only for them to not actually turn out that way. So we'll see if the same thing happens here. Anyway, Erika tells him, first period's phys ed, so see you later, Nagi-kun. Yeah. And then all the guys are sort of gossiping here. You hear that? Nagi-kun. First name basis? Chummy much? And Nagi's a little uncomfortable with this attention. And the guys are still just is kind of turning from pity into more animosity. I can't believe you used the M1 as an excuse to get closer. You know, I was aiming for Erika-chan too. Me too. I should have done something for the M1 too, man. And then we see the Icarus gang, Yonezawa and Takahashi, who's named, I'm starting to remember now. But Nagi's just, I guess, this means everything turned out alright. And he sighs and goes to his locker. So basically, life at school has become easier on the both of us. And he's like, it was the shoe locker. He's like getting out his school shoes. But the Amanos have done it again. Her mom's ability to cover up a good story is incredible. Rich extroverts are formidable. Okay, is the idea that it was Ritsuko who swayed public opinion here? Like she did with the Yukun stuff? Or is it genuinely just so unbelievable that they don't believe it? Either way, he swaps his shoes. No, that's not it. Precisely because I'm a poor introvert, it could easily be covered up. Anyway, I'm glad I'm a loner. And we see Hiro approaches him. I guess right in his face. Stunning Nagi. Wah! Morning, Umino-kun. Morbin. Oh, it's fucking Morbin time, folks. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if that's I don't think that was the Yoshikawa intentional Morbius meme gag. Or if the translation just had him flub morning and the translation team decided to make a particular morning flub. But Nagi does say that it's Morbin time. Anyway, good morning. And Hiro just tells him, little late to school today, are you? You think so? And he turns back to Hiro. Of course, this is the first time he's seen Hiro since realizing he had feelings for Erika, which of course creates all this maelstrom of shit going on in his mind. But Hiro's not even looking at him right now. And then one of the girls calls two other girls arrive, and they call to Hiro. Hiro, let's go to PE. Okay. And Nagi turns away from her, and then Hiro calls back, you better hurry up too. And Nagi just yells, Roger! And then thinks, something's wrong with me. And as he closes his locker, another letter falls out, tying all the way back to those initial rooftop confrontations. Why is it so hard for me just to look her in the eye? And he notices the letter, picks it up, Seigo-san, and it says, in that iconic bad handwriting, Umino-kun, it's been a while, but how does a study session after school sound, Seigo and Hiro? So not a full-on confrontation, but just a normal study session. Or normal is a stretch, I suppose. But Nagi's a little touched at that. He sort of sighs. And then these two girls pass by. They might be the same. They're not the same two girls from earlier. They have the same hair colors, I think. Maybe they are. I can't quite tell. But they gossip. Hey, did you hear the news? They say that Hiro-senpai is going out with somebody now. Huh? Who? Have they found out about the engagement? Because she said she wouldn't go out with anyone because of the engagement, and we know she's crushing on Nagi. Though we do have the little intro blurb, the truth behind a rumor pertaining to Hiro, which I'm assuming this is the rumor right here. Oh, shit. So the girls say the name. It's Asuma Shion. Okay, there's something weird going on here. Or maybe we're finally going to get the tying back to, I think it was the forest study session stuff. Where Shion and Hiro entered into that alliance, right? So that Hiro could get with Nagi and Shion could get with Erika. Maybe they've been working on that, and people, or no, because Shion was Hiro's partner in the M1. They already have that public connection. I don't know. We'll see. No way, really? I'm serious. That's crazy. And Nagi's stunned, sweating, a mess. I wonder if it was because of the M1, the #1 honor student in the Playboy, huh? I can totally see that. Hiro-senpai's got everything. And Nagi, you can hear his heart beating in his chest as he's even more panicked now. What? No. That's impossible. We see getting in his tracksuit for PE, but it really isn't, is it? So they partnered up together Amino-san and I, and we ended up like that. The two of them also. And he has this image of them in front of a heart background. If anything, they're a perfect fit. And he stands up. No, calm down. And he talks to Asuma, who of course gives this awkward little blush. Huh? A rumor about Hiro-chan and me? And Nagi reacts, throws like the soccer ball at him. What's that coy twisted smile supposed to mean? Man, it's the first time that you've ever called out to me first, you know? Well, yeah, I mean, Asuma largely was just sort of like the invader to their friend group for all this time. And then Shion then gets a little serious now. Well, from my point of view, I already knew how you felt about Hiro-chan, right? And then he kicks the ball back at Nagi. But to be honest, I can't really say anything about that myself. I don't know what he's meant to be implying there. It doesn't really sound like he's saying anything. But the ball does hit Nagi right smack in the face there. And the ball falls down. And Nagi's he's like a little beat up, but he's not focusing on the fact that he's got hit in the face with a soccer ball. And he just panics, no. What's with that attitude? Shion just asks, sorry dude, you alright? And Nagi says nothing. That just makes it sound like... And then at the library for their study session, I'm presuming. That rumor, huh? And yeah, he's talking to Hiro about it now. Shion's gonna be weirdly obtuse, just go to Hiro. Well, it's really becoming a problem, isn't it? And Nagi's still silent there. She's also neither of them are denying the rumor, as I think was really, really eating at Nagi here. Nagi just murmurs, I guess he's taking that as a denial. He is taking that as a denial. If it's becoming a problem, it means it must not be true. Thank goodness. And he is so relieved, he passes out. Because, he has not worked through his feelings for Hiro yet. And Hiro's just, Umino-kun, are you alright? And yeah, he's just fallen over. His head has cracked the ground when he fell, but he's fine apparently. I'm fine. Hiro's a little nervous at that, but Nagi picks himself up. I pretty much figured something was off. Since you have a fiance, you wouldn't just start dating someone like that. Or rather, you couldn't. Though, not that stopped anyone from trying to get with you, Nagi. But Hiro just sort of acknowledges, yeah, exactly. And Nagi sits down, and now is angry on her behalf, crying out loud. Who in the world would spread gossip like that? Outrageous! And Hiro just sort of much calmer than Nagi. Maybe it was because we teamed up for the M1? Would you like help dealing with the situation? Sure. And then Nagi changes the topic here. Also, that thing you said during the M1. And we flash back to right before Nagi and Erika bombed. This is me blowing it up. You were also telling me your intent behind withdrawing. Okay. What does he think she was getting at there, right? Because was the intent just to help out him and Erika? I don't know. I'm still a little bit unclear on that. But Nagi sort of blushes at the thought, and Hiro comments, "Thank goodness. I knew that you would understand, Umino-kun. I guess you could say we have a tacit understanding." And Nagi tells her, "I like the sound of those words. Let me write that down. But what you said earlier about not being able to date anyone because I have a fiance?" And Nagi sort of looks up at her in surprise as she says, "If Shion-kun happened to be my fiance, then that wouldn't hold up, would it?" What is she playing here? Because that is the chapter cliffhanger. Nagi just looks surprised. The fiance they'd been searching for couldn't possibly be. Next time, Shion's secret comes to light. Yoshikawa, are you about to make Shion an actually important character? Because for this whole series, his whole the gag of Shion is just that he's not important, but he really seems to think he's important. And now, my gut is telling me that Hiro is bluffing here. She's making a joke. She's kind of trolling. But also the way it's kind of framed. The way it's framed is as a cliffhanger. And also, why would she even bring this up? They change topics. They resolve the dating question. They move on to the M1, and then she drags it back to Shion? Is an interesting thing to do there, Hiro. And I'm not sure what exactly her thought process is here. But anyway, I will say, while I'm not having quite as much issue just parsing out what's going on as I did last week, there are still some moments that feel kind of like wonky translations. like that bit, the Shoujo Sparkle panel with Shion on page 15. I'm not sure if that's like a weird translation or if he's meant to be saying something that kind of vacuous. Like, it's a little unclear there. I'm not quite sure if there is anything we're supposed to glean from that or if he's just kind of being stupid. Like, my gut tells me he's being stupid, but the wording is still a little strange, I guess. And then, you know, Hiro doesn't like you could read is really becoming a problem, isn't it, as her denying the rumor. But, like, it's not directly a denial, even though Nagi, like, clearly takes it as that. So it's the same sort of question, is her denial that vague in the original Japanese, or is that a translation thing? I don't know. All my thoughts last week about not wanting to harp on fan translations that much still stands, because it's, you know, it's people working because they want to, no pay, all that good shit. But, like, still it feels just a little off here. And, like, you know, because last chapter was so Soichiro focused, I can't even really compare and contrast them that well, because how much of the weirdness was the translation, how much of the weirdness was just Soichiro being like that is unknown. You know, it is whatever it is, and I can't tell you which it is. But yeah, all in all, this chapter is sort of, you know, it's functioning. I'm trying to find the right way to describe how this chapter plays in a large scale, because it does kind of feel like a new arc. You know, it's not really building on anything. It's not building on much from the M1. You know, it builds on the fact that Hiro and Shion were partners, but beyond that, you know, it's not really connected. That's a bad way to put it. I mean, like, it feels more like a new arc. This feels more like setup. We're back at school. We're focused on Hiro now. We're going to get into, like, the past dozen chapters have been a really, really strong Erika arc. And now we're moving into a bit of a Hiro arc. As maybe, unless she's playing some kind of troll game, we might be getting answers as to Hiro's fiance. You know, I commented that the result of the M1 arc, from Erika's storyline alone, kind of felt like big moves towards the series end. Not like the series is wrapping up soon. You know, there's so many ways the series could be extended, for one thing. And also, I don't, you know, neither I or Hiro especially, Sachi, you can maybe spin the end of the wedding arc as, like, resolution for Sachi's character. But Hiro and I especially have not gotten anything close to resolution. And now we might be moving into an arc that ties up, or that focuses on the big mystery of Hiro's character. Who is she engaged to? And so, like, maybe, I don't know, it still doesn't feel right to say that Cuckoo is coming to an end anytime soon. But also, it does increasingly kind of feel like Yoshikawa is starting to wrap up some of these plot threads. So, I don't know. We'll have to sort of wait and see on that. I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Shion and the mystery, and whatever secret Shion has, and whether or not that is connected to the engagement, or if it's something else entirely. Because next chapter, you know, regardless of is he Hiro's fiance, it still says next time Shion's secret comes to light. So maybe there's another secret that he has that we don't know about. I don't know. Though again, we also learned way back in that scene on the bullet train that he does distinctly, or we know from the beginning he's had feelings for Erika. And then he entered into that alliance with Hiro a while back that was never really brought up again. So maybe we'll get more of that. I don't know. There's a lot of places this could go from here, and I'm excited to see where exactly we end up. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!